Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining us for another fantastic episode of the Creatives Podcast, highlighting fashion and film. I am one of two co-hosts, Simone Campbell.
And I am the other co-host, Tevin Brown. And today we have somebody who has a long list of incredible credentials. She is in production design, she's a dresser of set. She is also the executive director of MAKAHLA, Las Vegas, New Mexico. We have MAKAHLA HARAPAT.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
And did I pronounce the last name right?
MAKAHLA HARAPAT.
HARAPAT, okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah.
So MAKAHLA, kind of getting into, I know I even missed a few of the credentials.
That's okay.
All that you do, how did you get started, I guess, in the creative industry? And
the first thing I ever did, I used to be a baby double in Westerns when I was like 1 year old.
Whoa, started early.
Yeah. Oh. So I was like a background actor as a kid. That was kind of a thing that me and my grandma used to do together.
That's so cool.
Yeah, because I grew up in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and there's movies shooting there all the time.
Yeah.
And that was just something, my grandma needed to earn some extra hours to like earn retirement. So she started to be a background actor in Westerns and stuff. And she started to take me and my sister along. So, like as a kid, I was just like on film sets with my grandmother, like since very early age. So that was kind of the start. That was the start, yeah.
What a grand adventure too with your grandma.
That was like the fun thing to do. It was great. Yeah. And then my family's very like theater artists, painters. So it was just a lot of community theater. Growing up, I was like the youngest stage manager at the university in our town at like 10. I was such a busybody. I know.
You've been cooking since the very beginning.
Yeah. I've just been convinced that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Since.
I have a feeling.
Yeah, like out of the womb, I was just singing.
I'm a
Gigi, So that's just how I started, was doing background acting. Just all the time. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, you mentioned that you come from a family of artists. How have they inspired you on your journey?
Well, I think it's interesting when you come from a family of artistic people, because the inhibition for that is gone. It's almost passé in a family like that. They're like, you want to do it? Okay. You're not special. Okay. But what it does teach you is sort of a realistic view of what creative life is like, and what kind of work ethic it takes, what kind of belief you have to carry, how strange you can be, just how intense and passionate it is to be a creative person. That's something that like it was encouraged almost. We're a family. We did. There was theater in the house. Christmas Eve was a costume party. Like that was just the kind of people I come from. So what I think it's helped me with is like, I don't have that inhibition about what it is to do this. So that's helped me a lot. So it's given me a lot of work ethic.
Oh yeah.
A lot of work ethic. Plus, making something from nothing all the time as like a family activity is so what?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, like this is how we're gonna do it. Like, my cousin made a pilot once, and she wanted an army of angels. So all of us were in the basement making cardboard armor for 8 weeks as like a family activity. That's just what we do.
Yeah.
Like that's all. Yeah. If we want to have a murder mystery party, my cousin Don's rigging the door to the basement to be a secret staircase, and that's just what it was like growing up. Yeah.
That's full of so much life too. That's so special.
It was so much fun. Oh, it was the best. So many funny people. So talkative. It's like walking into a house of birds all the time. Everyone's chatting and yelling and arguing, and So that was kind of the start. Was that?
I love that so much. And I just I especially love, because I feel like we don't get a lot of people where it's like the whole family is just so encompassing.
That's rare
from the beginning. And I guess part of that kind of ties into my next question, but it's also just one of my favorite questions to ask people. What do you feel like are your favorite parts of working in any creative world, be it theater or film, or anything that you do in New Mexico specifically?
You know, the best thing about New Mexico film people are that we all come from nothing, man. Mm-hmm. Like, we all are there on some whim, some stroke of luck. We all were line cooks and waitresses and came from nothing. Mm-hmm. So the gratitude involved, and everyone's on this level of just being stoked all the time. Yeah. It makes like for such a bonded experience, and everyone's a storyteller. Everyone's a scallywag, like, you know, everyone's like dirty and punk and fun all the time. And like, and like there's a deep level of respect and love that I love about New Mexican film crew. Mm-hmm. You know, like if I say I'm moving, there's 8 film people moving my stuff, and I will show up for them, they will show up for me, and it's all the time. That's just how we are. So I really like that, and we take each other seriously. When we're on set, we respect each other a lot, and we all take it super seriously. So there's like a level of professionalism, but a level of trust, because we're kind of a smaller community. We're not LA, we're not New York. There's thousands of us. There's 1,000 of us. You know? So like at some point you're gonna meet us all. After a couple of shows, you're like, yo, Terry, what's up? Hey, man. You know, that's how it is. So I love that. It's like coming to high school every day.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, no, it's
such
great.
A perfect analogy.
The party's over here.
Like the grips are running to the catering line. You're like, God damn it, you guys, every fucking show. And they're just like, you know, but you just know them enough. So it's really cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of cool things, you do so many of them. And can you tell us a little bit more about your repertoire and just what are you getting up to now? What have you been getting up to this point?
Sure. Where do I start? So I'm a set dresser now. Mm-hmm. My dream has always been to be an on-set dresser, which I love a lot. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes.
Okay, great, awesome. We don't have to do that. Yeah, great. So that's just been, what I love about on-set dressing is you're kind of the last person before the camera shoot for the entire art department. Mm-hmm. You know, you're that last call, like, okay, that white plate is sticking out. You can just move it. Cool, the picture's great. So I've been a set dresser for 2 years now. Mm. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, but I was at the C&M Film School, which I'm sure, you know, everybody has been, but, and I got a call in my second semester of C&M that they needed somebody on some Warner Brothers movie. And they called all the students. It was like this eco PA job, which is so you go sort the recycling, you get a truck, you're the one hauling the garbage every night. And you make sure like everyone buys like compostable plates and stuff like that. And that's just what your job is. And they called the school to hire somebody to do that. And I got that job. And that was wild. Yeah, it was super wild.
Great start, too.
Yeah. Oh my God, I was so excited. It was my second semester. You know, I was 27, a mom. I'd been homeless. Like, I couldn't believe like how that had all happened. So, and then I've never looked back since. Really, I made friends with the locations guys on that show. Naturally, because garbage is locations bag. And I just loved them. I thought they were the coolest, dirtiest people. They were awesome, like just funny and weird. So I would just sit on their truck every day going, so what are you guys doing today? What's going on? What are you guys doing? And then I got the next job was a locations PA job, and it was just like and I stayed in locations for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
can you tell us a little bit more about locations work in case anyone isn't familiar with what that is?
Yeah, sure. Locations is kind of like the logistical outer orbit of a production. How I teach it at the PA class is like, so everyone's making art in the center. There's the larger crew around them. There's the teamsters, and then there's locations making sure the real world doesn't interrupt the art getting made on set. So we handle like security, we handle infrastructure stuff, we handle all the bureaucracy, We handle all the waste management, heating, cooling, trucks, toilets, all that stuff. And then we handle all the permitting, closing down the roads, contracting houses, location scouting and taking directors out to like different spots to see what they like. We photograph the whole city, ahead of time. So it's really fun. So you start kind of location scouting and trying to find a spot. And then it's all that planning, all that detail till the crew gets there that day. So like the circus arrives basically. And then you have to just let it go, you know? Yeah, but you're like calling the old neighbor behind like, hey, you had to open your garage at 2. Please remember to do that because there's going to be a guy coming in to plug something in. And you're doing that all day and just running around, and it's fantastic. It's the biggest adventure of my life.
That's so cool. Yeah, making it happen, making it possible.
Yeah, and what's funny, it is like, it's just the logistical real world stuff. So the artist can do it, basically. You're not, it is creative in a way. Like our creative stuff sort of starts with the scouting. That's our sort of brand. So we kind of work for the production designer, technically, location managers, but we also came from producing. So it used to be just producers that would do all that stuff, but producers were like, this is too much. Rightfully so. And what's happened is New Mexican locations it's a whole other thing entirely, because you have to work in snow and rain and deserts and shoot westerns, and all of that stuff has to be handled by somebody. Wet roads and horse droppings, and how do you get a house to the middle of nowhere on Bonanza Ranch? We're the ones that have to go, I don't know, let's make a phone call, I guess. And like, where are you going to keep 20 horses for 2 weeks? I don't know, I guess we'll, and we're the ones that have to go figure that stuff out.
I love that so much.
I can't get out of my head, and I can't remember what it is, but what are the people who are in charge of the circuses? Like the ringmaster?
Like the ringmaster?
You're the ringmasters. That's how it feels. I was like, the ringleader? The wranglers? Yes. Seriously though, making it happen. Making it possible. That's huge.
Yeah. It's all those trappings to make sure that everyone can just go concentrate on the movie. Yeah. And it's so much fun.
I bet.
Like, you're the first person there every morning on set. We're the ones that open the gate and turn the lights on. Yeah. So you're on a desert on sunrise alone, before like the crew comes in. It's like beautiful.
I bet.
It's a beautiful
job. A serene moment before all the chaos breaks out.
Oh yeah. And you get beautiful, you're in some huge mega church shooting a scene with 1,000 people, and you guys are the only ones with the keys. So you're up in the rafters getting to watch. We're just the people that are walking around the edges, kind of making sure everything works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great job.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a really fun job.
I love that so much. And I guess also kind of diving in while we still have time into some of your other endeavors.
Sure.
Executive Director of Main Street, Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Yeah.
What is that, and what is that all about?
So Main Street, New Mexico Main Street, is sort of a branch of the Economic Development Department, as is the film office. So economic development is the big theme there. Main Street, each small town in New Mexico that has a historic commercial district most of the time gets a designation of being a main street, so a historic main street. What that does is it's a nonprofit that basically helps with historic preservation, public works of art, trying to get money for infrastructure, getting grants to help small businesses on the main street. It's basically helping Main Street stay in existence all over the country. They were just in Philly last week as the national conference. And I got that job in the interim between shows. And it's been wonderful because I get to go back to my hometown and kind of help, just try and figure out what to do. There's a National Endowment for the Arts mural project that we're doing. We got like a capital outlay so we can fix this 120-year-old road, part of the district that hasn't been touched since like Teddy Roosevelt was there. Really, they haven't really worked on it. Yeah. So it's historic preservation, revitalization, that sort of stuff. It's weird how location managing works really well for this.
Yeah.
I don't know why locations people sometimes were the only ones that it's a transferable set of skills to like community organizing in general.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Like you don't think about it till you start doing it. And you're like, I could do this.
Yeah. Totally.
You just talk to people and make them do, like talk them into things. Yeah, it's the same. It's been really interesting. It's been interesting to like work in my hometown again.
Absolutely. I know coming back all these years from baby actor to this, so successful and so passionate about what you do.
I try to be.
You can tell that you are.
I am. I'm just really grateful. I'm a single mom. I don't know how I do all this, but I mean, any opportunity I get to have, I should do. Is how I feel about it. I just, I think being a creative person in general, you have so many ideas all the time. Like you are just riddled with things that you could do. And film is great in that way, and Main Street's great in that way, where it's like, you can come up with things to do, and there's all sorts of ways to make ideas material, and if you're running at 1 million miles a minute, that's perfect for you. But like I said, I came from homelessness. I lived in a van for a while. I hitchhiked around the country from 20 to 23 or so.
Wow.
So just a shower is really cool still. All these years later, I'm like, dang, this is so cool.
That's beautiful, though.
Yeah. So I'm like, this isn't you don't get to do this. People that come from homelessness don't really get to turn themselves around this way very often. So whatever dumb luck I've had in my life, I just want to keep writing it, I guess. Just keep writing that way. I don't know when this is going to stop. I think every film job I have is a hoax. I'm just like, well, that was the last one. I'll never do this again. Sweet.
And you're pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'll look up my alcohol serving license. I'm like, is it? Yeah.
Still updated? Oh my gosh. That's amazing. That's so exciting. And in these just last couple minutes before we wrap up, I know we never have enough time. It's crazy.
No, that's okay.
Where can people find your work or see where you're going next, or any Instagram handles or anything?
Yeah, you can see my photography at Dolly Mac Baby, which was an idea. And that's I'm doing a show with photography from there, and it's just a decade of being a mom, being in New Mexico doing film. So I'm doing shows. So you can go see my photography, and then you can just see movie life on there too.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I'm not a big self promoter. I'm a crew member. I'm a
That's
union
what you're
worker.
here for, though.
Yeah, I know. I wear work gloves every day. But but that's the best one. That's the best way to see my work in general, is to follow me on there. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Well, MAKAHLA, thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Seriously, it was so much fun.
Oh, good.
Always, of course. And thank you so much to everyone for watching. We hope that you had as much fun as we did. You got some laughs. And please go support this local artist. Thank you so much for supporting us. Like, comment, and subscribe. We beg you. And thank you so much to our sponsors, to Studio 519, again, for the phenomenal space, to our producers for finding all these wonderful people. And thank you so much once again. I am your co-host, Simone Campbell.
And I'm your co-host, Tevin Brown.
And we will see you next time.
Have a great night. I don't cry. I don't hide. I don't